It was on a stormy night that Sarah and her friends Lisa, Matt, and Kevin took a detour through the mountains. They were returning from a weekend trip when their GPS suddenly glitched. The roads twisted and turned until they found themselves lost. The rain poured relentlessly, and the car's tires screeched through the mud. "We should have taken the highway." Matt groaned from the back seat, checking his phone for a signal, but there was none. "Calm down, we'll find a place to rest soon," Sarah the driver replied, though she didn't believe her own words. They hadn't passed another car or town for hours. Finally, as the storm intensified, they spotted a faint glow through the rain. "It looks like a village," Lisa said, her face pressed against the window. As they drove closer, a wooden sign covered in moss welcomed them. "Welcome to Grey Hollow." "Creepy," Kevin muttered, but they had no choice but to proceed. The village was silent. They could see small, dimly lit houses, but no people. Not a single soul wandered the streets. "We should find somewhere to stay for the night," Matt suggested, but no one responded. They all felt it. Something was off. They parked the car in front of what appeared to be an old inn, its sign barely readable. The windows were fogged up, but a dim light flickered inside. Sarah, hesitant, knocked on the door. Moments later it creaked open, revealing an old woman with a hunch, her eyes shadowed under a hood. "You lost," she rasped, her voice barely above a whisper. "We need a place to stay for the night," Sarah said. The old woman stared at them for a moment longer than comfortable, then nodded slowly. "Follow me." The inn smelled of damp wood and something foul, like rotten meat. The rooms were small, with old furniture and walls covered in dark stains, but they were too tired to care. "Sleep well," the woman said, her voice lingering in their ears long after she left. The group settled into their rooms, trying to shake the unsettling atmosphere. Sarah lay in bed, her mind racing. Something was wrong with this place. The silence was too heavy, too unnatural. Then she heard it, whispers, faint, almost imperceptible at first, but growing louder. She sat up, straining to hear. The voices seemed to come from the walls, speaking in a language she couldn't understand. She rushed to the others' rooms, only to find they had heard the same thing. "We need to leave," Kevin insisted, but the storm was too fierce, and the village roads had become rivers of mud. Reluctantly, they returned to their rooms, but sleep eluded them. Throughout the night, the whispers persisted, growing closer, more distinct. The next morning, they found strange symbols etched into the walls of their rooms, symbols they hadn't noticed before. The group decided to explore the village during the day, hoping to find answers. As they walked through the narrow streets, they noticed the village was empty. There were no signs of life, no shops, no schools, no people. The houses were old and decayed, as though no one had lived in them for years. "Something's wrong here," Lisa whispered. Suddenly, they heard a noise, a low, guttural growl coming from the alley behind them. Matt turned, and for a brief moment, he saw it. A shadow, something large and hunched, with eyes that glowed like embers, but when he blinked, it was gone. "We need to leave now," Matt urged, but the village seemed to trap them. No matter which way they turned, they always ended up back where they started. The narrow streets twisted like a labyrinth, leading them deeper into the heart of Grey Hollow. By dusk, they stumbled upon an old church at the edge of the village. The doors were slightly ajar, and something inside called to them, a pull they couldn't resist. "Okay guys, let me introduce you to AISENO, realistic skeleton stakes Halloween decorations. For lawn stakes garden Halloween skeleton decoration. About this item, place these realistic skull in your garden lawn. Realistic skull enough to scare off your friends. Easy to install, just insert the bottom of the arm into the ground and place the skull to present a realistic zombie scene. The package includes 2 arm bones and 1 skull. Combination is a skeleton that will climb out from the graveyard. Extremely horrible. This is an indispensable item for the Halloween garden, creating a cemetery scene that will surprise your friends' neighbors. Quality assurance. If you're unsatisfied with this item for any reason, the company will immediately send you a replacement or refund your purchase price. Click on the link below to check for the price. Inside, the air was thick with dust, and the pews were empty, but the altar was not. A large book lay open, its pages filled with symbols similar to those on their walls. Beneath it, a pile of old bones rested, arranged in strange patterns. "This place isn't just abandoned," Sarah whispered. "It's cursed." Suddenly the whispers returned, louder now, filling the church with an unnatural echo. They tried to leave, but the door slammed shut, trapping them inside. From the shadows, figures emerged, pale and gaunt, with hollow eyes and twisted limbs. "The villagers. You shouldn't have come here," one of the figures rasped. "This village is for the forgotten," the villagers explained, if what they did could be called explaining. Grey Hollow was not just a village. It was a prison for souls who had been erased from the world. They were the forgotten, the lost, and anyone who entered would become one of them. "No one leaves Grey Hollow," the villager hissed, their voice a mixture of anger and sorrow. "You belong to the village now." Panic set in. Kevin tried to break a window, but the glass wouldn't shatter. Lisa screamed, but her voice barely made a sound. Sarah and Matt frantically looked through the book on the altar, searching for a way out, but the words made no sense. Then the old woman from the inn appeared. She had been watching them from the shadows. "There's only one way to leave," she said. "One of you must stay." "No," Sarah said, backing away. "We're not leaving anyone behind." But the village was relentless. The whispers grew into a deafening roar, and the shadows closed in around them. They were out of time. Desperate, Matt made a decision. "I'll stay," he said, his voice barely audible over the noise. "No!" Sarah screamed, but Matt was already stepping forward. The moment he crossed the threshold of the altar, the whispers stopped. The villagers retreated, and the door to the church creaked open. "You can go," the old woman said. "But remember, those who leave will forget." Tears streamed down Sarah's face as they left the church, knowing they had lost Matt forever. They didn't look back, not even when the whispers began again, faint and distant. Weeks later, Sarah, Lisa, and Kevin were back home, but something was missing. They couldn't remember what or who. Their memories of the village were hazy, like a dream fading in the morning light. But sometimes, late at night, Sarah would hear it, the faintest of whispers, calling her back to the village she could never remember. And somewhere, in the silence of Grey Hollow, Matt waited, forgotten by the world. Thank you for watching. Comment part 2 for the next episode. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Movie Mystery for more video like this. Help and share this video to make this channel grow. See you in the next video of Sleeping Hollow.